Hi, welcome to my studio, the place of creative clutter. My name is Tammy Khan, and today I'll be sharing some tips and techniques on how to create this great little wooden box that's covered in screen printed clay, and we'll go over different tips and techniques on helping you create the great little box of your desires. So join me at my workstation and we'll get started in just a few moments. Here is part of the screen print that we'll be using today. This is one that you can tell is very well loved. I use it a lot and it gives this great bird image. So we'll lay that to the side. We'll also be using black Primo Sculpey, and I like to buy this in the bulk amount. The little bars just seem to be used up so quickly, there's just no point in it. And so these can usually be a better rate too when it comes to keeping track of your expenses. And what we'll start with is this great little trinket box. This was available in the wood department of the craft store, and I think it was all of $1.99. So great little wooden box. These can be baked with no problem. If you have any concerns about it, just put it in the oven at 275 for 15 to 20 minutes and see if there's any reaction. If not, it is going to be very safe to use it with the clay. So let's get started on the project. We will need to make one screen print in the black clay. This will cover the top of our box, and we will need to make 2 to 3 of these screen prints for the sides and the back and the gold. We'll need so much because you may want to fussy cut, and by that I mean cut it so that certain elements are exactly placed where you want them. So if you do want a bird placed firmly on one side, there is only one bird in this screen print, so you will need at least 2. And then on my box, which I'll show in just a moment, on the front I wanted a dragonfly right here, so I had to have a definite piece that I could cut that out of, and that again is going to require a little bit more of the screen printed clay. So hold just a moment and I will show you the box that made this tutorial possible. Hold on. Project that we're going to do for this tutorial, we're going to need Sculpey 3 in jewelry gold. We'll need some liquid Sculpey in gold and also in black, or if you don't have either one of those, just the clear or translucent will work fine. 2 shades of metallic paint. One of these is Anita's Black Metallic. The other is Folk Art Inca Gold Metallic. It just gives a nice sheen on the black clay and on the gold clay. These can be found at your hobby stores and on sale can be less than $1 a piece. This is the finished trinket box. You can see here the screen print really turned out nicely on that black clay, and I added a little knob so that you could easily open the little trinket box still and use it for what it is meant for, a trinket box. I would actually paint this all on the inside with the black metallic paint, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this yet. I may line it in fabric. And the reason I said you would need extra gold to fussy cut, I wanted the bird to be on the one panel on one side, and I wanted to feature a bird on the other panel. And to do that, you will need at least 2 panels of gold screen printed clay. To achieve a nice screen print, and for this part I'm using the screen print we're going to make for the top, you will want to have your clay rolled out on the desired setting. My desired setting was a 4, and you want your piece of clay to be approximately the same size as your screen print. Your screen print will have usually more of a rubbery feel on one side, or there'll be writing on the screen print that you can only read correctly if it is positioned on the clay correctly. There is a right and a wrong side to your screen prints. First, I like to press it down nicely and burnish it with my fingers. And then I will lay a piece of wax paper over that and burnish it even more. You can roll your roller over it and get it nice and smooth. So hold on a moment while I make sure I've got that burnished down well. Onto my black clay. For this screen print, I'm going to use Inca Gold, and you just want to run a thin line of the paint across one edge of the screen print. And then take a squeegee or an expired gift card, whatever you have that's at the same kind of feel as a credit card or a gift card. These have a nice bit of flex to them, so you can spread the paint across the screen print. And you just are going to smooth the paint firmly and smoothly across the entire screen print, making sure that it's had a chance to go into all of those cut out areas. You may need to add a little bit more paint. Off screen, I have a bucket, or a little, it's a little bucket of warm sudsy water waiting, so that as soon as I am done manipulating the screen, I can drop it right into that warm sudsy water and not have any chances of the paint getting clogged up in any of the design. Now I'm pretty happy with how that's covered. Let's peel this off and drop it right off into its little bucket down here. The first steps in creating this box will be to place your featured screen print on the top. And for this portion, I've chosen the black clay with the gold screen print. And I like to do this top rectangle portion first so that we can have something to hold on to while we do the rest of the sides. I have chosen to use a screen print by Sculpey. This comes in your first screen print kit that you would buy from them. It came with this, and it came with another great screen print. And as you could see when I showed earlier how to do the screen printing, that it is a very well-loved screen print in this house and gets used quite often. I'm going to have to order another one. Take whatever you've decided is your featured design and position it onto the top of your box so that you can see it's going to fit nicely and fit right where you're going to want it. Let me cut this excess clay off here. We'll ignore that bit for a moment. When you cut it off, you do not want any clay across this back portion here, because when you open and close this box, that portion does completely go inside the box. So you will end up having quite a problem if your clay is on here. It is going to crack and slowly break apart the veneers that you put on the rest of the box. So to do the veneer for this top portion, I have already put a little liquid poly clay on here so that it could be prepping the top. And so I've laid liquid poly clay first, done a really good smooth layer of liquid poly clay on there, pressed it in place or smoothed it in place. And then now we're going to put our screen print veneer onto the top and push it and get it exactly where you want it. And get everything right where you want. And you'll also want to make sure that there are no air bubbles in this in any place, because any place there are, they're going to rise up and create a doming effect on your project. And that's probably something you're not going to want to have. So let me get this positioned and we'll get that portion baked so that we can go on and show the next portion of this project. Okay, we've got our top covered now, and we've started on the sides. Same technique, you're going to slather on some liquid liquid clay in either clear or translucent, and this time I put the featured bird in gold clay with black screen printing. I put one here, and I'll be putting one here. Then you can use your gold scraps across the front so that you have whatever design you want featured there. Also, this is a great time if you have those graphic prints or anything else that doesn't have to be fussy cut. Even if you had done something specifically for the top of it and then the rest of it you just want to use your graphic stencils or screen prints, just go ahead and do that. And we're going to cover them. Each side is the same technique. You're going to lather it in the liquid clay, and then you're going to put your specific pieces of clay over the top, trim, and make sure that they're pressed down nice and smoothly, and bake at 275 or the temperature your clay calls for. During a project like this that I'm not doing the entire project in one step, I will bake for sometimes 20 minutes at a time instead of the full 45 to 1 hour that I normally will bake. Once you have all of your sides done, it's time to do the bottom. Let me peel that off there since it's not ready to be stuck yet. And you'll notice I didn't even peel the sticker off of the bottom of this. I just again slathered it in the liquid clay, put a sheet of black, and then made 4 little bun feet. I think little bun feet are so cute. To make those, you will just cut 4 equally sized pieces of clay, roll them up into a ball, mush them down a little bit, and you have cute little bun feet. So that is what it sits on, so it doesn't sit firmly against the floor of whatever place you're going to put it in. If you don't want to use those, you can just cover the bottom of it and be done with that portion. I'll demonstrate the last portion of the video, which is decorating the edges of your box. As you can see here, I have a small snake started, and to make sure you always get an even long small snake, or the smaller you want it, use an acrylic block and just roll it back and forth across your snake. And you can see he's getting longer and longer. But look how nice and even that turned out. So a couple different techniques you could use. As you can see, I'm going to start with a new fresh box just so that you can see the edge designs a little more clearly. These videos only permit so much time, so I'm going to take a portion of the small snake and lay it across here. Again, all of your parts are going to be baked, so you'll want to make sure that you do use some Bacon Bond or some liquid Sculpey here. And this is where using your gold liquid Sculpey comes in so handy. So we're going to lay him across there. And you can do just a simple snake across each corner, or to take it up a notch, you can take a tool and just come right across with either a needle tool, which is out of my reach for the moment, and you can bring that in and let that needle tool make the design for you. Lay that across there and have another effect. So there are a lot of different things you can do. We can also take another portion of the snake and I have all these great dental tools that I can use for so many things. That's the good thing about working in dental for years. And another option is to take a tool that has plenty of texture on it and just roll it across there. Or you might have sandpaper or any other textured item that you could give this just a little bit more dimension. And you can see here, now we have a texture design on the edges. So there are many ways you can finish off your cute little trinket box. And if you download the PDF, which is available at tinypandora.com, you will be able to see in-depth photos of a lot of the steps that we just didn't have time for in this video. And to finish up this project, I also wanted to mention this is Deep Shine UV Finish. I just love this for the effect it gives. It gives a deep, deep shine to that. This is just one coat on each side of the trinket box, and it gives a perfect, smooth UV finish to every place that you apply it. So I hope you enjoyed this short video, and visit tinypandora.com for all the tools that you'll need for this and for many more that you didn't know you needed. Thank you so much for visiting.